Welcome to Alexandra Palace, ladies and gentlemen, for the William Hill World Darts Championship. It is day 3 of the tournament. Here, the fans' village, everybody getting ready to see the world number 1, Michael van Gerwen, begin his campaign in the main hall just next door to us. I'm Dan Dawson. This is Chris Murphy. Both of us commentate on the Pro Tour. We go exciting places like Hamburg and Munich and Prague and Barnsley and Wigan. They're the kind of places that these guys are playing week in, week out, just to get to this tournament. The biggest tournament in the world, the William Hill World Championship. £500,000 to the winner. 2 days down already and an afternoon session. We're just going to show you some of the highlights. First off, we've got to talk about last night. Gary Anderson, second favourite for the title, didn't have things all his own way against Kevin Burness, Northern Irishman making his debut, Murph.
Yeah, Gary Anderson, he's only been beaten by Michael van Gerwen and Phil Taylor here in the last 5 years. He always finds a way against whoever he plays against, and he's going to take some beating on what seems to be his stage here at Alexandra Palace.
Pretty much is. And Gary Anderson has said as well, he wants this. A lot of the time, Gary goes, well, you know, I'm not that fussed. I'll throw my darts. If I win, I win. I lose, I lose. None of that last night. He really wants to claim this title for a third time. That was the highlight from last night. This afternoon session, another mammoth session of darts, 5-hour session. It all started with this. Richard North, 2 sets down to the German qualifier Robert Marjanovic. He was definitely going out of the tournament, wasn't he?
He was, and he thought he was as well, but he said he looked across at his family and they were like, no, Richard, you need to get going and keep in this tournament. He said that. He looked across at his wife and she said, you're not coming home just yet.
Well, assuming he does that after every round or during every game, then he is going to go and win the title. And Richard North has said that if he avoids MvG, he is going to win this title. That's not bad for a bloke who never won a game on this stage before. We did see a couple more games after that, scrappy affairs, to be honest. Jim Long, the Canadian, winning on debut, and Josh Payne as well, another scrappy one against Jeff Smith, the other Canadian. Anything to add on those two?
Long, Payne, I think that just about covers it.
Yeah, and then this one, though. Let's gloss over those. Max Hopp, the German number 1. Danny Noppert, who was excellent yesterday in his first round game. Max Hopp fans in the house. A lot of German fans here. And they'll be delighted to see that man. It was clinical stuff from him, wasn't it?
It was. Danny Noppert outscored Max Hopp, but Hopp was just cool under pressure, took all his finishes. Noppert had a bit of a nightmare on the doubles, but that was down to the fact that Hopp was taking him out. And how big would it be if he was to meet Michael van Gerwen in the next round?
Well, that is a possibility. If Michael van Gerwen does win tonight, he's going to be the world number 1 and the German number 1 crossing swords in the last 32. We'll get to what's coming up tonight in just a moment. But obviously you guys are all here in the fans' village. You've got the hall there. There are places in this cathedral of darts that you don't get to see. So we're going to show you them. And there's only one man to do that. That is MC John McDonald.
Hello, welcome to the Alexandra Palace here in London, the home of the William Hill World Darts Championship. We're going to give you a player's backstage tour. Let's go. So the players are inside and now they have to report to the media centre. 96 players from all 4 corners of the globe. They have various press commitments and television too. And they've all assembled here for the millions of viewers that will be viewing us around the world. Right, so we've made it inside the main building and this is the players' bar and lounge and also their very own practice room. So the players' guests, family and friends will arrive here and this is where they'll assemble just before the main game. But where will they go when they get called to the stage? Let's go and find out. So the player is very nearly there. Just minutes before their game, they get their last opportunity to practice, and this is the last practice area. No one's allowed to join them, no one's allowed to be in there with them. This is their last port of call before they arrive on the stage. So the players leave the practice room for the final time and they make their way into the big arena. For some, it's brand new territory. For others, it's familiar. Whatever happens next, it's in their hands as they make their way to the walk-in and wait to be introduced. Well, that's it. They wait here until the greatest master of ceremonies in the business introduces them on to the biggest stage in sport. Game on.
Stage in sports, the best MC in sports, second only to MC Hammer, MC John McDonald. Right, let's talk about what's coming up tonight. Go. Look at that, it worked and everything. Right, let's go through. Tony Alcinas, Spanish number 2, against Craig Ross from New Zealand, who is only kind of here by default anyway. How do you see that going, Murph?
Yeah, he's a lucky loser, isn't he? Lost in the final of qualifying, but ended up getting here because his opponent couldn't make it. He's on a free roll, but Tony Alcinas has got experience of reaching the last 16 here last year. I think he wins.
Keith Deller, the 1983 world champion, says 3-0 Tony Alcinas. There you go. That's a hot tip from a former world champion. Right, Ryan Searle, Stephen Burton. Ryan Searle's just come into some form the last 3 months, pretty much. Stephen Burton has come into form the last 3 weeks. So who's more likely to win?
I'm going for a Burton, Dan. He played well at the Players' Championship finals. He was only beaten by Michael Van Gerwen, beat Darren Webster in Minehead as well. I think Burton can beat Ryan Searle tonight.
Okay, penultimate game. Keegan Brown, former world youth man, Karel Sedlacek from the Czech Republic. Your thoughts, Murphy?
Again, Keegan Brown played well here. Last year beat James Wade. Sedlacek, not much experience on the big stage. Apart from at the World Cup, I think Brown wins that pretty comfortably.
Yeah, it's very up and down from Keegan Brown. We've seen some fantastic stuff from him over the last few weeks. He got through 115 average in a game just, 2 months ago, something like that. But you're never quite sure what you're going to get from the needle. But this is the main draw of the night. Down the bottom here, the world number 1, Michael Van Gerwen, against the Saint from St Helens, Alan Taban, who was a top 10 player 10, 12 years ago. Has he got a hope, Murph, of causing the biggest shock we've seen?
Well, apparently any outcome is possible, but I don't give him much of a hope. Neither do the bookmakers. He's a massive, massive price to win the match, and I don't see Michael Van Gerwen being beaten tonight.
Well, Michael Van Gerwen has already seen Gary Anderson and Rob Cross, 2 of his main rivals at this year's William Hill World Championship, win their opening games pretty comfortably, if we're honest. These are some odds for tonight. 170 checkout for the session, over the whole session that is, 4-1. And have we got another one? What about the 9-darter? 9-dart finish, there we go. 8-1 in this session. There's one man in that 8 there who people are going to be expecting is the most likely to do both of those, isn't it?
Alan Taban?
Yeah, obviously.
Now, Michael Van Gerwen is the man, especially the 170, because he tries to leave it on purpose all the time, and he will always go for that finish. So that is a bit of value. Michael Van Gerwen for the 170 checkout.
Michael Van Gerwen is the man who is dominating this sport right now, the world number 1. He is the favourite to win this title for a 3rd time. It has been an incredible rise to where he is in the world rankings and the status that he has as standard bearer for this sport. I went to his hometown in Vlijmen in the Netherlands just 2 or 3 weeks ago to sit down and talk about his career so far. This quiet little corner of the Netherlands is home to the world number 1, Michael Van Gerwen, and he's agreed to spend the day with us so we can find out a little bit more about the origins of a man who has dominated the sport of darts over the last few years.
The green machine, Michael Van Gerwen! Oh yeah! This is amazing!
So, Michael, we're going to meet the world's media ahead of the World Championship.
A bit busy today, yeah.
And they're coming to you. This is Vlijmen, and your whole life's been like within 15 minutes of here, hasn't it?
Yeah, true. I've been growing up in Buxton. That's where I'm born, and yeah, grew up with my family and everything. That's where I started playing darts, and of course, darts wasn't my first thing what I was doing with sports. Of course, I did football and a lot of other sports, but yeah, they didn't turn out so well as like darts, so I think I made the right choice there.
Your first World Championship title.
Yep.
The big one.
Has his day of destiny arrived? Michael Van Gerwen stands on top of the world of darts.
There was a lot of good games I had to play there to win that title, and it gets tough, you know, because you want to win it so much. It feels amazing, of course, to win the World Championship title, especially when you hold that big Sid Rattle trophy. It's incredible heavy, but also a phenomenal feeling, because then you know why you worked so hard for it all year, and yeah, incredible, phenomenal moment.
Is it important to you to beat Barney's record in world titles, getting more than his current tally of 5?
Just a little. I will do.
It's just going to happen.
Yeah, I got still a long career for me.
How do you maintain that hunger? Because you've achieved pretty much everything.
Yeah, that's correct. But I still have a few things on my bucket list. I'm not finished yet. I still got a few more years to go, and I'm looking forward to them. I hope darts keeps growing for another, 10 years and maybe even longer. But that's probably how long I'm going to play.
Are you looking forward over the next few years?
I always look forward to it.
To seeing all these young kids come along and try and take your crown, and you knock them back?
Yes. I knock them back, don't worry. Keep him back.
He is the main man on Planet Darts. Who can stop the Dutch darting juggernaut?
Van Gerwen there saying he's going to knock back all these young lads trying to take his crown. It's not a young lad he's got to knock back tonight. It is Alan Tabben, a senior man with loads of experience. We'll see if we can do it later tonight. But before we do, less of the serious stuff, more nonsense. And this is nonsense. Yeah, so where are you on the Raspberryometer? That's the question. We're going to find out, and the winner takes this. And we have a contender. Come on up. Up you come. Have you come in fancy dress, or is this a regular thing? There we go. You've got a microphone. Use it. Use it, old dear.
They're over there in the wheel hill over there.
There we go, trying to win T-shirts of their own.
They're deaf, you see, they can't hear us.
That's understandable. Right, what's your name? Tell us what your name, where you come from.
I'm James from Luton.
Lovely. First time at the darts?
No, 4th year in a row.
4th year in a row.
I met you in Blackpool this year.
There we go. And have you ever called a 180 at the home of the World Championship, Alexandra Palace?
Never in my life.
Well, that is going to change, James, if you want this T-shirt. With all the previous winners on there, it's on the back. Right, James, we haven't actually got the Raspberryometer up and running, but we'll know. We'll know. So, on 3, I want you to absolutely... Now, you can give the Raspberry one, or you can give, say, the Paul Hinks. It sounds a bit like a turkey, but...
I'll have a glutton.
There you go. Right. 3, 2, 1. Write down that mic. 180 for the Raspberryometer. 3, 2, 1. 180! That was a terrifying experience. Congratulations, the T-shirt is yours. There we go, right. Here we go. We start Tony out, so that's Craig Ross. That's your first game up, but I know everybody is waiting to see that man, Michael Van Gerwen, the world #1, kicking off his challenge here at the William Hill World Darts Championship. Enjoy.